Hey guys, welcome back to this Arduino tutorial series. So in the previous video, we have created a project in which our microcontroller was responding to the user input given through this virtual terminal port. So this is how our project was working. So when a user enters the 1 as input, microcontroller turns on this LED because we have set condition is 1, we have set condition is for 1 and 0. So in order to turn off this LED, the user have to enter 0 as its input. So turn on for 1 and to turn off with 0. So this is how our previous project was working. So in today's video, we are going to create a project in which we will try to interface a digital type of sensor to our microcontroller. So a digital type of sensor which generates a digital signal as its output, which means which have only two states, a high and a low state. So that means in order to attach a interface a digital sensor to your board, to your microcontroller board, you have to interface that sensor with your digital port, or you have to interface that digital sensor with these digital input and output pins. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So this was our previous code for our previous project in which we have declared a variable a and have assigned a value of 12 to this variable. Then we have declared a variable b, which is a character type of variable to store the user input data. We have assigned a as 12 because we have attached our LED to pin number 12. Then through serial.begin, we have started this communication between the user and the microcontroller through the serial monitor or the virtual terminal. And we have declared the pin number 12 as our output pin using the pin mode function. In the void loop function, we have read the data from the serial monitor or the virtual terminal and stored that data in the variable b, and then have applied the conditions as per the data stored in the b variable. In our today's video, we are going to assign a variable, sorry, we are going to assign a new pin as our input pin, and then want to read the data from that pin and apply the conditions as per the data received from that input pin. So for that, I am going to declare int type of variable called c and want to assign its value, and want to assign 7 as its value because I want to attach my sensor to pin number 7. And I want to I need another variable to store the data that our microcontroller will read through this input pin. So I need another variable which must be a int type of variable called d. So in the setup mode, I have to initialize, or I have to tell our microcontroller that I'm going to use pin number 7 as my input pin. So for that, I have to use the pin mode function, and I have to uh, assign that pin number 7 as my input pin. So for that, I have to write pin mode, then either the direct pin number or the variable that you have assigned for that particular pin. So I have assigned c as my so I have assigned my pin number, that's 7, to my variable c. So I have to write either c or 7 here. So I'm writing c as my argument here, and I want to use that pin number as my input pin. So I have to write input using this keyword. I have set my pin number 7 as my input pin. Now in the while loop function, I want to read the sensor data. Since I am using the digital type of sensor, so the data generated or the data received from the sensor is a type of digital data. So for that, I have to write first. I have to change this variable. I have declared d type. I have declared variable d to store the sensor data. So I have to write d equal to. I want to read the digital type of data from a digital sensor. So I have to write digital w digital read the R alphabet of this read key, this read word must be in capital. So start the braces and give the argument, the pin number as your argument within the braces. So I have assigned it C as my pin number. So I'm giving C as my argument. Close the curly braces. Now I have read the data for the digital pin number 7 and have stored that data list variable D. Now we have to set the conditions on this D variable instead of the variable B. So we have to write D equals to, as I said, that digital type of sensor generates have only two output states, either high or low. So you have to set the conditions on these two outputs. So for now, first I will turn on the LED if the output of my digital sensor is high, and I will turn off the LED. I will turn off the LED if the output of my sensor is low. That's it. Now compile this code. That's it, without any error. Now copy the address of this program file and paste it in your Arduino board only for the one time, for the first time, and when every time you edit your program, then you do not need to copy and paste, copy the address again and again. Just edit and compile that code, and Arduino will automatically fetch that program after compilation. So we are going to attach a sensor to our pin number 7. Since there are a lot of digital type of sensor. For example, IR sensor is a digital type of sensor. Motion sensor is a kind of digital sensor. So I'm not going to attach all of sensor one by all the sensors one by one. So there is a logic state within the library section of your Proteus software, which is called the logic state, which have only two states, 1 and 0. So all the digital sensors have the two states, that is 0 or 1, or low or high. So this logic option or logic state option that you have inside the library generates the same outputs for the circuit. So I'm going to use this logic state section or logic state option, logic state component from my Proteus software, and the thing that's happening with this logic state component are same as the thing that will happen to all type of digital sensors. So in order to add this logic state component to your circuit, you have to type logic state in the library section, and you can choose any of the option from here. I'm choosing the last second. Now, as you said that this component generates have only one pin, that's our output pin, and this do not need any type of any VCC or ground. That's why I'm using this logic state, and the output of this component is 0 for now, and when you click on this will generate 1, and this thing happens with all kind of digital sensors. When they sense something, they change their states from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. So far now I'm selecting the 0 as my default state, and now run this circuit. Here you can see that our loop section is running continuously, and the information that we are getting on our virtual terminal is that LED is turned off because our logic state for now is 0. Let's change our logic state and see the result. Here it is. Now our logic state is set to high and our LED is turned on, and the same information we are getting on our virtual terminal mode. So in this way, you just need to add the output pin of your digital sensor to any digital pin on this Arduino board, and the same thing and the thing that we have set and the logic that we have set here will work same for all digital sensors. And you can do many other things, like for example, I have just turn this LED on and off by changing this logic state. You can do many things, like you can control the motor, you can control the fan, or you can control the relay, etc. So this is all for today. Thank you so much for watching.